Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, this is kind of a lame video because I'm just reading this article on my phone. I don't have it on my computer. This is where I get my news. I basically go on WeChat and I look at my subscriptions, and I have a lot of subscriptions from different expat groups like this one, That's Guangzhou. There's another one called Expat Plus and many others. So this is the way like a lot of us foreigners get the news here in China. And this story kind of stuck out because it's just really tragic. A Xi'an citizen dies because he was refused entry into hospital because of the COVID policies. And I think this is just really sad, and I want to share it with you all, just in case if you're living in China, just to be aware of this stuff. I mean, this has never happened to me. I've never experienced this kind of lockdown in China. I've been here the entire time. If you watch my videos, I've been here throughout the whole pandemic. I did just leave for a couple of weeks to Malaysia back in March 2020. I was just so sick of being isolated at home because everyone was just staying at home. No one was really going outside much. And I was like, fuck, I need to get out. So I took a trip to Malaysia because it hadn't really spread internationally yet. And I did spend a couple weeks there. And then the cases started to pick up in Malaysia. And thank God, I went back just in time to China before China closed its borders, because China had done such a strong job in locking things down that it obviously didn't want to waste its efforts by letting the virus back in from it spreading outside. And so we can praise China, we can give China the respect it deserves for doing a solid job in Wuhan and in other places throughout the country. There's been many little outbreaks here and there, like in Shanghai, Guangzhou, even in Guangzhou where I live, there's been little outbreaks in Beijing, in all over the country, really. But this one in Xi'an, I don't know what's happening. I think the policies are so strict that if people need to go to the hospital, they can't even get in. I want to share this article with you that this man died because he couldn't get in for 10 hours. You can read this right here. It says, Weibo user Haiyang Hua 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 has shared the harrowing account of how her father was refused entry to several different hospitals in Xi'an 10 hours after he began suffering from a case of angina. Terrible. They got to be way better prepared than this. The Xi'an government or the CDC, from reading this, it seems like there was a huge mistake. I don't want to call it a failure because it's not tons of people are dying. This is like the second person who has died. I think the first person who died was a baby. A mother was trying to give birth and she couldn't get into the hospital. That's crazy. I understand you're trying to control the pandemic, but there's got to be a system in place where people that need to get into the hospital can get in. So this Weibo user tried to call, what does it say here? She posted recordings of the phone calls she had with emergency services on Weibo. Weibo is like Twitter in China. As a press time, and her Weibo got more than 30 million views. So 30 million people saw it. So, people that say there's no freedom of speech in China, there actually is. People can share things and it does go viral, but the government does usually delete it after a few days. They don't want the issue to get crazy. I don't know. I can't explain for them, but maybe they don't want like conspiracy theories and just weird, stupid ideas about it. Everyone can know about it, but after a few days, it's like, okay, let's tone it down. And they do delete it. I'm not defending that. You can decide if that's wrong or right. But that's what the social media in China do. So here's a video of her trying to get into hospital for her father, is it? The woman's story was on the top trending story on Weibo on January 5th, 2022, before the hashtag was removed. Like I said, it does get removed. Also in Xi'an on January 5th, a pregnant woman suffering from stomach pains was denied entry. Like I told you already, and she miscarried. She lost her baby. Super tragic, guys. So I don't know what's happening in Xi'an. Again, I can't call it a total failure because I think most people are fine. There's like 13 million people in that city. So I mean, you can just imagine how hard it is to manage China's zero COVID policy in a city of 13 million. I mean, that's like 4 Torontos. Yeah, I'm from the biggest city in Canada, and I can't imagine trying to control an outbreak in the city the size of 4 Torontos. That's crazy. Anyways, let's watch this video. And so mistakes are definitely being made, and I think it's really tragic. I really hope that the Xi'an government and the CDC can really get their act together and figure this out, because people should not be dying because of these policies. That's crazy. I mean, sure, they're saving a lot of lives because they're not letting the virus spread, but there really shouldn't be people that can't even get basic heart treatment. So let's watch this video. So you could hear the woman was screaming, right? You heard that. And then here, she shared the whole experience here on Weibo. This is her post. She shared the whole thing.
国际医学中心离我家最近的唯一可以接受的医院，让我们去了之后又把我们拒绝。我们家属陪同全部都持有核酸，但是以我们是中风险地区为由，要现场做核酸。我爸是心脏病，根本等不起。 从2点到晚上的10点，我爸被耽误了8个小时，我没有办法节哀，那是我爸。
能到达绑架我们，你知道吧？
我现在我爸已经不行了，我道德绑架是，
我在执行我的职责，知道吧？听清楚，我在执行我的职责。
我听清楚了，今天就说禁止。
So yeah, guys, man, that woman is pissed off, and I would be too. Your father is having a heart attack, and they won't that's crazy. Again, I don't want to call it a total failure. I want to try to have some perspective on this. This is one story, it's one bad case, and it is tragic. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. But of course, I can't generalize and say, I don't want to do what some idiots on YouTube do and take one story and try to make it sound as if this one case represents 13 million cases in Xi'an. Obviously not, because this was picked up on Weibo. 13 million people saw it. They're pissed off. Even though China is a collective society, they still do respect and cherish every individual life. Just like Dr. Li Wanliang, who died. He's like a hero in China because he tried to warn some people. And I would say the majority of Chinese citizens view him as a hero. Anyways, just want to share that with you. And I thought it was interesting that this is being shared in Chinese media. So, I mean, it's not blocked. People can complain. People can say things are not as good as they can be. And people do have the means to voice it. So I thought it was interesting to share it. But I also want to share it because if you're living in Xi'an or Beijing or any other city, stock up on your food. You never know how serious these prevention measures can be. They are very serious in China, right? It's not like in the West where you don't get hard lockdown. So be prepared. And I really hope they can do a better job with these emergency situations with people that have heart problems or whatever problems. If you need to see the hospital, you should be able to. So anyways, peace and love, guys. Just want to share that with you. Take care.